Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream and welcome back to the channel for more Destiny 2 news and intel. And today's video is going to be a full breakdown of a quest that was already added back into the game in order to get one of your favorite D1 shaders. Of course, I am talking about the all-white shader, the Chatterwhite. I'm also going to do a breakdown of an upcoming event or upcoming events, as we do have the Dawning releasing on Tuesday's reset. And though there will be another event in order to get other rewards in the future, I'm not totally sure if it's tied to the Dawning and it's just a sub-event or quest line, or if this is going to be a completely different quest altogether or different event altogether. So we'll do a little bit of speculation on that. But before I get into all that information, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. Almost 80% of the people who watch this channel regularly are not subscribed, so any new subscribers, it really helps support the channel, and it's the #1 thing you can do if you want to support this channel. So first off, let's get into the actual quest line for the Chatterwhite. This particular one shouldn't be too long, but there are going to be other things tied to this quest line, or possibly later in the quest line, that I think will be advantageous to new players, but also seems like it's going to be a bit of a hefty haul. There's going to be a lot of things that are not easy. So any tips as we go through that I think might shorten the process of some of this quest, I'll make sure to let you guys know. But first off, as I said, this quest is already in the game. So if you head over to this vending machine, which is right near A-1 and the Drifter is going to be key to this quest line. You'll notice that this vending machine has a marker on it. This will be because you will need to return to this vending machine in order to get items for this quest line. But to start it off, you're going to head over to the Drifter. And this quest line seems like it's going to be centered around the Drifter and Eris Morn on the moon. More specifically, there is a bit of lore that those two characters were in a relationship of some kind, but I'm not totally sure if that's still in the canon. However, to start it off, for specifically the Chatterwhite quest line, you're going to want to visit the Drifter in the tower, and then complete 5 bento boxes. Now these are going to be obviously an item that you acquire from the Drifter. You can see them in the thumbnail of the video. This is going to be something that I'm sure goes to your inventory. But you'll complete the 5 bento boxes for the Drifter, and then you'll return to the Drifter in the tower. Investigate a vending machine, as we saw. And then you'll be able to get the bootleg Drifter tincture. Now, the tincture that you'll get from this vending machine, I'm sure is going to be something similar to what we've been getting for the Tonic. So I think it's kind of playing into that whole mechanic of we do something, we get a thing, and then it rewards us or gives us the possibility of getting a reward from doing another event. So I'm going to assume, since that's essentially where the Chatterwhite questline ends, is once you investigate the vending machine near the Drifter in the tower, you will collect a bootleg Drifter tincture. So let's assume that that's where it ends. Doesn't necessarily mean there won't be more information tied to the actual bento boxes or maybe the tincture in general. So I'm assuming once you get that tincture, you're going to actually have to go and complete an activity, and maybe then it will award you the Chatterwhite. But fortunately, the Chatterwhite shader doesn't really seem to be too long of a quest line, though usually these things have further breakdowns. So even though those are maybe the bullet points for the quest line, there's probably going to be longer things in the process between, you know, what Drifter assigns you to do versus what you actually have to do with the tincture in order to finally get the Chatterwhite. But there's going to be some other quest lines tied to this, what is a new activity or new event, which I don't know if it's going to be tied to the Dawning. It seems as though because we're getting the Dawning so soon, It's not going to be tied to that, but the event that supposedly will contain not only the Chatterwhite quest, but also later quests focused on the Drifter and Eris Morn will be called Firecracker. So once you're into the Firecracker event, maybe once you've completed your Chatterwhite quest, there'll be a whole bunch of other ones, and I'm just going to give you a readout. There's going to be, I think, 8 more quests of the ones you should expect. So there will be a Nightmare Lunch quest line. For this one, you're going to want to also visit the Drifter in the Tower, complete 60 activities on the Moon. Nightmare hunts grant bonus progress. It's going to be a while since I've done a Nightmare hunt, but there are plenty of ways that you can speed run those, a couple of glitches that you can do for those. So maybe when we get to that point, I will give a further breakdown of those, but just know that there are, depending on which one you pick. Return to Eris Morn on the Moon. Then turn in the bento token you just received for rewards from Eris Morn on the Moon. The Stuff of Legends questline. So this is another one. Step 1. Speak with the Drifter in the Tower to receive your next assignment in Tactical City Defense. Step 2. Finish final encounters in any raid or dungeon. Raids provide additional progress. 2 will be required. So if you get 2 completions, that's for the final boss in any raid, you will complete that part. But that's a difficult spot. Either the final encounter, not just any encounter, but the final encounter in either a raid or dungeon. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say that probably the easiest one to do is maybe the Spire of the Watcher. It's kind of an easy boss to defeat as far as dungeons go. I'm trying to think, as far as a raid is concerned, what final boss of a raid is the easiest. I might have to think about this a little bit more. It might be Atheon, honestly, in Vault of Glass. So, unless I'm... maybe Crota. Crota might be an easy one to defeat. But in any case, after that, you'll return to Eris Morn on the Moon. That's the 3rd step. Step 4, turn in the bento token you just received for rewards from Eris Morn on the Moon. The dubious bento quest line. So this is the 3rd quest line. Step 1, speak to the Drifter in the Tower. He has a quest related to creating a questionable bento. Step 2, collect 10 dubious celery from defeated targets in Gambit, and collect 10 sentry eggs from defeated combatants on the Moon. Okay, so we're going to have to play some Gambit. The only way Bungie can really get us to play Gambit at this point, I think. But then return to Eris Morn on the Moon. Step 4, turn in the bento token you just received for rewards from Eris Morn. Then we have, for the 4th quest, the Martial Mementos questline. Speak with the Drifter in the Tower to see what tactical assignments he has for you. Step 2, get 200 final blows with Malfeasance, Wither Horde, Touch of Malice, Whisper of the Worm, Xenophage, or Arbalist. So, in keeping with that specific version of weapons, not fallen weapons, but that aesthetic of weapons you'll have to get kills with. Of those ones listed, I think Xenophage might actually be the easiest one to get kills with, though Malfeasance, you'll probably have better weapons economy, so if you have either one of those. Wither Horde also will probably be pretty easy. Step 3, return to Eris Morn. Step 4, turn in the bento token you just received. Then we have the Snakebite questline. Speak to the Drifter in the Tower for a new assignment in Tactical Defense of the City. Step 2, secure 200 final blows with Gambit weapons. Okay. Step 3, return to Eris Morn. Then we have the Dredgens of Your questline. Step 1, speak with the Drifter in the Tower to see what tactical defense assignments he has for you next. Step 2, get 50 Guardian final blows in Crucible or Gambit. Final blows in Gambit with hand cannons earn additional progress. That's sort of like an old quest line we had, I think, a long time ago, which I'm trying to remember. It was for one of the pinnacle weapons, when we used to have pinnacle weapons. Step 3, return to Eris Morn on the moon. So yet another way to play Gambit, or another reason to play Gambit, although I'm probably going to play the Crucible because it's going to be a lot easier to get 50 Guardian kills in there. And then we have the final Nightmare Kills quest line. Step 1, speak with the Drifter in the tower. He seems to be in a playful mood. Be ready for anything. Step 2, defeat 3 Nightmare bosses and challenging combatants. Step 3, return to Eris Morn on the moon. Step 4, turn in the Bento token you just received at Eris Morn on the moon. So that is the 7 quest lines. Now, all of these, again, are going to be associated with the Firecracker event. I'm not totally sure if that one is going to be, you know, with the Dawning, which we'll be receiving on Tuesday's reset. I'm going to assume it's not, but maybe. As I said, the Chatterwhite should only be available from the first quest, so all those others, I'm not totally sure what they're going to award as of yet, but hopefully some good rewards, as those are some serious quests in a couple of the cases. A lot of kills required. Some endgame weapons are going to be required, or endgame activities are going to be required. But that's going to be it for all the information regarding the upcoming event, how to get Chatterwhite. I'm also going to leave a link in probably the pinned comment of this full quest line and all those quest lines that I just read, so you can read them yourself if anything was a bit confusing there. Over at XUR'S will be returning, or excuse me, leaving tomorrow. So I did want to just point out that exotic class items are for sale. And the Graviton Lance was also for sale. If you didn't have that weapon, I would recommend picking it up. I'm going to head over to Banshee 44 really quick for his daily loot to round out today's video. There was one weapon that I think was worth a pickup, or at least a look, especially if you're a newer player. And we did have something similar, I believe, on Friday, but I think this one is actually a little bit better than the one we had then. We have a memory interdect with Clown Cartridge, Elemental Capacitor. We have a Disparity with no distractions, Desperado Ambush, Deepsight activation weapon. This is actually good for PvP. We have a Jurassica 3SR with Hipfire Grip, Kill Clip, and Vice Stinger. We have an Imperial Decree with stats for all, Trench Barrel, and 2 Excess, and a Deepsight activation weapon. And then we have the Pizzicato 22 with Hipfire Grip, Osmosis, and XUR'S Synergy. Might like this for PvP. Remember, this is also the last day if you're looking to get what is one of the best weapons currently in the Endgame PVE meta. I'm talking about the Tinasha's Mastery. This will, of course, be available again once Iron Banner rolls around. Again, but that's not going to be for a while. So if you haven't picked this up in the last 2 weeks, I would definitely farm it out as much as you can, get those Iron Engrams, and just try to get a Chill Clip one, because that is absolutely excellent at the moment. And if you have Devour running on any of your characters or any of your subclasses, the Chill Clip does proc Devour for, let's call them heavier enemies, so anything that's above a red bar. You just need to be able to have 3 shots on an enemy, but if you can land 3 shots on an enemy and they're not dead, you will proc Devour. It's just a great weapon. And then over, we had the Vanguard this week. We had the Undercurrent grenade launcher available, which is excellent weapon. One of the best grenade launchers you can get. Certainly one of the best wave frame, and wave frames are the best in the game. It's even better than Forbearance if you can get the right rolls on it, and is way easier to get. for most casual players. But thanks so much for watching. As always, hopefully you found something in this video helpful. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, as I said before, for more Destiny 2 info like this. You can also follow me on Instagram. It'll be linked in the description box down below. Oh, one more thing, because I did get asked this in a previous video. For today's Legendary Lost Sector, which is actually a really easy one to farm. It's over on the EDZ. Any of the ones on the EDZ are the best ones to farm, but we have probably, in my opinion, the easiest one to farm in Excavation Site 12. So head over there, and I had been asked in a previous video, so if you're that person who asked, this is for you, what the daily loot is, the daily exotic is from the Legendary Lost Sector. It doesn't work that way anymore, where it used to be you would get assigned a specific piece of gear on a given day from Legendary Lost Sector, so it was either gauntlets, helmets, chest pieces, or boots. That's not how it works. Now, if you go to Focus Decoding, you just get exotic Engrams from Legendary Lost Sectors, but this is where it's determined what the daily loot is. So what Bungie is assuming is that if you're farming Legendary Lost Sectors, you're just farming it for exotic Engrams, and then you can go over to the first page of Focus Decoding, and it will have one of the 4 pieces listed for you. So today is boots. So that's how you check. So if you're turning in exotic Engrams for random rolled pieces of gear, that's how you know what the Legendary Lost Sector daily loot will be rewarding. It's not the same as it used to be. You can still get random exotics from doing Legendary Lost Sectors, especially the higher level ones, I believe it's 2040 Legendary Lost Sectors, but that doesn't mean that that's what the daily loot is. The way you check the daily loot is you go over to Master Rebel. But that is officially it for all the information in today's video. As I said before, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Really helps support the channel. If you've watched to this point in the video, you can also leave a hashtag The Final Shape or a hashtag The Dawning in the comments section down below for another entry into the next giveaway on this YouTube channel. We do one every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. When and if we reach 100,000 subscribers on the channel, we'll be giving away an Xbox Series or a PlayStation or a video card if you play on PC. As I said before, any of the things I mentioned, liking, commenting, or subscribing, I'll give you entries into the next giveaways. And as always, I am Wilhelm Scream. Hopefully, as I said before, this was a bit of help and gave you a purview into what to expect in the upcoming month or so. I think there's actually going to be a lot of good stuff with the Dawning, as well as possibly this secret event. Just based on what we had with Festival of the Lost and exotic class items, I think Bungie has really taken a step up with their seasonal events, and I'm actually really looking forward to the Dawning. Maybe you're out there playing Path of Exile 2, but I think, there'll be time to step away from that if you've been grinding really hard since the launch to actually, maybe come in and do some of these activities, and I think they're going to be worth it. There's going to be a bake-off, so that's kind of cool. Thanks again. I'm Wilhelm Scream, and of course, we will see you next time.